Good evening. You're watching The Urban Debate with me, Aarti Subramaniam. It is a much anticipated Ghar Vapsi, a homecoming that the AIADMK are watching nervously as VK Sasikala, or Chinnamma, as she's known to her supporters, is back in Tamil Nadu after 4 years. It is a return that has huge implications, not just for the political landscape in Tamil Nadu, but the very future and existence of the AIADMK. In a state where symbolism and optics is so crucial, the battle for the party symbol, the flag and the famous two-leaf symbol, imagery that is very closely linked with the late MGR and Jayalalitha, is in fact a larger war for control over the party and the legacy of Jayalalitha. From the day of her release, Jayalalitha's closest aide has sent an unmistakable message to EPS and OPS, the CM and Deputy CM of Tamil Nadu. She has staked claim to the party and she is coming for them. But what will Sasikala do? Will she engineer trouble within the AIADMK leading to a party split? Will she perhaps stage a coup and assume leadership of the AIADMK? Will she oversee a peaceful merger perhaps between the AMMK and the AIADMK? Or just wait and watch, biding her time until the polls are over? Well, we're going to discuss all the options ahead of Sasikala, what her return means for Tamil Nadu politics and the AIADMK. And joining us this evening for that is Narayan Tirupati, spokesperson of the BJP, C. Rajashekaran, advocate and founder of President Voice of TN, Suman C. Raman, political analyst, and T.S. Sudhir, journalist and political analyst. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this evening. I appreciate you taking your time out. T.S. Sudhir, let's start off with you. In a state like Tamil Nadu, legacy is so important. Who is the heir to Annadurai? Who is next in line after Sasikala? What after MGR? These are questions that have always weighed very heavily on Tamil Nadu politics, and especially in a background like that, the fight for the very symbol, the very identity of the AIADMK, those two leaves, the usage of the party flag is something that the AIADMK has seen red, with Sasikala actually using that party flag despite the AIADMK's warning to her.
Absolutely. In fact, I see it's almost like trying to effect an hostile takeover. At least the optics seem pretty much like that, because the AIADMK making it very clear that they are not really very happy with the kind of circumstances in which Sasikala is coming out, usage of the AIADMK flag on her car. So in that sense, the AIADMK is giving the impression that it is in a sense paranoid and not a little nervous about the events in which the circumstances in which Sasikala is coming out. So it is looking like, making overtures to the AIADMK rank and file that here I am. 4 years ago, when I went to prison, Bengaluru Central Prison, I was the leader of the AIADMK. I anointed Edappadi Palaniswamy as the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. Now, after 4 years, I have made a Ghar Vapsi. In many senses, it also reminds you of what happened in the late 80s, the entire tussle between MGR's wife Janaki and Jayalalitha in order to claim the MGR legacy. Now the fight is out in the open between Sasikala and her group fellows and Edappadi Palaniswamy and the entire ruling AIADMK dispensation on who is the real heir to the Jayalalitha legacy. And given the fact that elections are going to be held in just about 2 to 3 months from now, the entire contest makes it, it's a very fascinating contest that is being drawn up there in Tamil Nadu.
Well, certainly is. It's history playing itself out once again. Suman C. Raman, I want to read out a little bit of a statement that Sasikala made to the press while she was en route Chennai. It's a cavalcade that's proceeding very, very slowly towards Chennai. It was expected to reach Chennai, to reach MGR's memorial around 7 o'clock this evening, but it's nowhere close to Chennai at the moment. Tell me what you make of this statement. She said, Jayalalitha said that even after her, AIADMK will remain for 100 years in the soil, and to fulfill that dream and that good thought, I'm ready to sacrifice my entire life for strengthening the party. It is our responsibility to follow what our leaders said. We should not fall for the tactics of our enemies to create diversions in the party. Till my last breath, I will work for the welfare of the people and upliftment of the poor. I want to convey a message that this organization, that's the AIADMK, should not ruin itself because of the selfishness of a few people. What do you make of this statement?
Well, for two things. One is, it is in some ways a relatively restrained kind of statement, because Whether you take what Sashikala said today or what Mr. Dinakaran said a couple of days ago, most of the talk has been in terms of unity within the party, the DMK being the main enemy, and so on. So it's not the kind of I'm here to take revenge and I'm going to capture the party kind of statements. Though there have been wheeled hints to that effect, these seem to be more conciliatory statements as of now. But the fact that she's made it clear that she is going to continue in politics takes one issue out of the way, the question of whether she would be active in politics or not after her return. Now she's confirmed that she's going to be active in politics. So that's one step forward. The question is what happens now that the AIADMK, particularly Mr. Edappadi Palaniswamy, the Chief Minister, is very clear that there's no place for her back. The BJP is trying to potentially broker some kind of an arrangement where the AMMK's 3-4% vote doesn't end up being a loss for the alliance. So we really have to wait and see. I think the next 1 to 2 weeks will be very important in terms of watching who are those from the AIADMK who make an effort to meet Shashikala. And I'm sure that the intelligence department of the state police will be very, very keenly watching. I'm sure it's very likely that communication lines are being eavesdropped to figure out what's going on.
Well, Narayan Tirupati, let me take that to you. The BJP, of course, has always been this unseen but very present role in Tamil Nadu. It's been playing a behind-the-scenes role for the past couple of years, ever since Jayalalitha's death in Tamil Nadu. Any olive branch that's going to be extended to Sasikala?
Oh, see, that has been media's speculation, and also, people like Suman C. Raman always saying, even now he has said that we were potentially brokering. See, that's not the way he says, because we don't have any interest in other parties' affairs. It's totally, purely, it's an internal party affair of AIADMK. But it has been a habit of people in Tamil Nadu to say that the BJP is trying to divide AIADMK. That's what they were saying before 2 years. Now they are saying that it's BJP. They are trying to unite AIADMK. See, what is this? That too, people like Suman C. Raman, a senior person and who knows politics better than anyone. He is saying that the same Suman C. Raman was saying that BJP is behind the dividing of AIADMK. Now again they have started saying that we are dividing AIADMK. This is not our problem. It's totally internal party matter of AIADMK. The AIADMK leaders who are very seniors, they have very good political understanding. They are senior politicians. They know what is good and bad for the political party. But you have to understand one thing. This Shashikala and Mr. TTV both have a party called AIMMK. They have a party flag. They have a symbol also given recently by the Election Commission. It is a political party. We have to understand that. So it is natural that the cadres of this political party throughout Tamil Nadu, they have come to the border of Tamil Nadu near Hosur. From there, I think they are spread up to Chennai. So the entire Tamil Nadu cadres have come to this particular stretch of 300 kilometers. We have to understand that first. So I don't think it is going to affect anyway, the political scenario in Tamil Nadu, because NDA is very, very strong here. If suppose Shashikala and TTV try to merge their party with AIADMK, definitely any party will get stronger. But in the last 1.5 years, Mr. Edappadi Palaniswamy has done really well to take the support of the public of Tamil Nadu. He has done very well. So what all he have lost to TTV or AIMMK, definitely I think he has regained, and the votes have been consolidated. Definitely, I don't think there is going to be any problem. Anyway, after a long time, I have met Mr. Sudhir. I should thank Mirror for this, at least 2-3 years. So it is like.
Well, I'm glad we're serving as a reunion of sorts here, Mr. Tirupati. I actually do want to allow Suman C. Raman to respond to what you said, but before that, I do want to go to Mr. Rajshekaran as well, who's been waiting patiently. Mr. Rajshekaran, we heard the BJP spokesperson say that Sasikala has her own political party, but it's something it seems that she has forgotten about because she's very hell-bent on carrying the AIADMK flag wherever she goes.
See, Aarti, generally I don't agree with the BJP spokesperson and Dr. Sumant Raman. But today, I totally agree with Narayan Tirupati, whatever he said about Sumant Raman and about ADMK, partly about ADMK. Because uh, whatever all said and done, ADMK party is widespread throughout Tamil Nadu and AMK party is widespread throughout Tamil Nadu. Today we are witnessing a huge crowd which is not even allowing Mrs. Sashikala Nadarajan to travel to Chennai within, I would say within, it is 6-7 hours journey, but almost it is going to become a Guinness Book of World Record. 24 hours, more than 24 hours, I think. I guess I may be wrong. We have to wait and watch what time she reaches Chennai. So this crowd seems to be a very, very attached, emotional, sentimental crowd. The cadres, more than leaders, I could see the cadres of both parties. Not only AMMK, even ADMK cadres are there. It is very evident. And people who understand politics from the ground will also agree with me. Though many may not agree. But of course, I'm not blaming anybody in this panel. But Sasikala haters are there in Tamil Nadu. They will definitely talk abuse and say that she is nothing, she is nobody, she has no vote base, she is finished chapter, spent force, what all adjectives and innuendos to her career may say so many things. But fact of the matter is, 33 years of travel alongside of J. Jayalalitha, she is more competent, more charismatic, like compared to any other present ADMK leader. Because this crowd, just now I'm witnessing so much of crowd after a very long time. When Jayalalitha was chief minister and opposition party leader, so much crowd used to throng onto her car. They will fall onto the car. They will throw flowers. So all this I could see after so many years. So it is not a hired crowd. It is the emotional. It is an attachment being seen all over in all the TV channels. But people who don't want Sachikala, who don't like Sachikala, who don't like TTV Dinagaran, don't like ADMK, or don't want ADMK to win again, or people who have vested agendas may talk so many things. But we cannot answer those things. But the visuals are evident that she is a reckoning force. She is a uniting force. She is very clear about her stand. She has been very magnanimous in her statement, which she met the press. She has said, all are my children like people, all cadres. I am like a motherly person. I treat you for you. I am always there. For the victory of ADMK, I will work. So she is not going to break anything. When you started, is she going to work against ADMK? Definitely not. Edappadi Palanichami was handpicked. She was nominated by Sashikala. And how will she go against her own person? Though there are differences of opinion, mistakes are committed. Everybody is human. Errors are committed by humans. She may have the heart to forgive him also. So this truce is expected anytime. I wouldn't say that this will not happen, this will happen, because I am not an astrologer. Going by whatever the developments, I am only assuming. I may sound unfavorable or wrong to many, but going by the whatever developments, definitely ADMK United only can confront and win against DMK, because DMK are the favorites. They are on the strong wicket.
Well, Mr. Rajshekaran, none of us are astrologers here, but it doesn't take too much to put two and two together. Palaniswamy might have been handpicked by Sasikala, but the comments that have come in that he's literally dead against her return, the comments that she has made that AIDMK is scared of her, it doesn't really bode well for some sort of reunion like we've seen perhaps on Mirror Now, where, you know, Mr. Tirupati is happy to see Mr. Sudhir, you're agreeing with Sumansi Raman. So I don't think this bonhomie that we're seeing on this panel is going to extend to yes.
No, Aarti, please allow me. When O. Pannirselvam went out of ADMK, And you know what all the abusers hurled against Paneerselvam, and the Paneerselvam camp abused the EPS camp, the Edapadi camp. And finally, one fine day, they came together. So it is very common in politics.
Okay,
There are
Suman Raman, do you
permanent
agree
enemies
with
and
that?
permanent friends.
No, do you agree with that? No, permanent enemies?
Sumant will definitely disagree. I know Sumant will definitely disagree with me.
No permanent friends or enemies in politics. If we live in a country where the BJP and the PDP can come together, so why not Sasikala
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Paneerselvam?
Aarti, I agree with you. BJP and PDP is a good example.
Look, Aarti, obviously in politics there are no permanent friends or permanent enemies. The point I'm trying to make is Sasikala's influence is largely amongst the leadership at the senior and middle rung of the AIADMK, and is not so much with the people of Tamil Nadu at large. And she does still continue to carry a negative connotation with a large section of the population, particularly women voters, who have an issue in terms of the last days of Jayalalitha and so on. So I think that it's going to be very, very difficult for the AIADMK to go into an election with Sasikala as its leader. Mr. EPS, as Mr. Narayanan said, has done a reasonably good job in the last 1.5 years. He's built himself political capital. He's created a base for himself. And most importantly, he's shown himself to be a very, very wily operator in the fact that this was a government which people gave 3 months. They said 3 months it will fall. He's taken it to 4 years and he's completing his term. And he's completing it in many ways on a high, if anything, compared to the first 2 years when he was basically firefighting. So I think that, it's wrong to say that, EPS has not established himself as a tall leader. He has. In fact, wherever you go in Tamil Nadu, the problem for EPS is carrying the baggage of the BJP, where people say, sir, he has done quite well, but I don't know whether we can vote for BJP. So that is the problem that EPS is currently facing here. Mm-hmm. But as far as Sasikala is concerned, what happens after the elections is anybody's guess. That will depend on the result of the elections, and all bets are off as to what can happen after the elections. Before the elections, I do not foresee a large-scale split in the AIADMK. I could be proved wrong, but I don't think that there will be a significant rocking of the AIADMK boat, whether that is deliberately, whether that is due to a understanding that has been reached, whether somebody else is putting pressure on Sasikala and Dinakaran not to rock the boat before the election. All that is conjecture, but I don't expect a radical rocking of the boat before the elections by Sasikala. Okay. After the elections, anything can happen.
Okay, actually, let's do that. Let's go around the table and see the options which Sasikala is most likely to choose, because at some point she's spoiled for choice. But before that, Mr. Sumant Raman, since you did mention the crowds and Mr. Rajshekaran also did, I just want to bring our viewers up to speed with the latest development. The AIADMK has sacked 7 office bearers of Tiruvallur and Krishnagiri district, and this is because they were supporting Sasikala today. In fact, the Tiruvallur office bearer gave his car to Sasikala. Remember, this has been a point of contention. She has been warned to not use the party flag, the AIADMK flag, but she completely circumvented that by going in an AIADMK party functionary's car and thereby using that flag without any legal impediment, perhaps. Mr. J. Sudhir, option 1 for Sasikala, of course, is to rejoin the AIADMK and claim leadership of the party before the polls. It is very likely, basis what she is saying, that she is going to stake claim to the party. It's only a question of when. Is it pre-polls or is it after the polls? Another option is to spark an exodus from the AIADMK to the MMK pre-polls. And we've seen that where a lot of AIADMK party cadre, party functionaries are throwing their weight behind her already. The third option, as Mr. Rajshekaran was very hopeful of, perhaps the coming together of the AIADMK and the AMMK for the polls. What do you think is the most likely?
Well, Aarti, I don't know whether you invest in the stock markets, but any investor in the stock market is asked to have a strategy and a long-term strategy. So Sasikala's short-term strategy will also be something as well as long-term strategy, but I think she will focus much more on the long-term strategy, because she would want to wait because elections are just about 2 to 3 months away. She can afford to wait to see how the voters of Tamil Nadu actually vote. Because even if she throws her weight behind TTV Dinakaran, the AMMK has not really covered itself with glory as far as different electoral contests are concerned. So to say that she and the AIDMK will have a grand reunion of sorts is actually hoping for too much, especially with just 2 to 3 months to go before the elections. And given the kind of position that Edappadi Palaniswamy enjoys in the present AIDMK, having been chosen as the person who will be the chief ministerial face in the 2021 assembly elections, I don't think he's really in a mood to give any kind of elbow room. So the short-term strategy, does not really give too many options to Shashikala right now. The problem is also with the AIDMK strategy. The fact that Shashikala was moving around in a car which had the AIDMK flag is more of a political issue. The AIDMK leadership, including ministers of the government, going to the DGP and complaining as if it is a police or a law and order related issue is really kind of not getting its political strategy right. As far as the optics of the crowds that you were mentioning and also what Mr. Rajshekharan was referring to, frankly speaking, after having covered politics for so long, I don't really pay much attention to these kind of crowds. These are optics. These are optics which by now people and leaders of political parties are in a sense pretty much experts in engineering these kind of crowds because the optics matter. They know that every Tamil channel, every national channel will be there on the streets to cover the return of Shashikala. They know it cannot be a low profile homecoming. It has to be high profile, completely in contrast to February 2017 when she drove from Chennai to Bengaluru. So obviously Shashikala wants to be shown as someone who is there in the reckoning. She has said that she's going to be in active politics. And in the next few days, I expect that she will also make a lot of anti-DMK noises so as to position herself as the person who is going to take on the DMK as far as Tamil Nadu politics is concerned.
Well, let me take that question to Mr. Tirupati. I know you're going to keep your cards close to your chest given your own stake in this particular election. But for the BJP with Sasikala in the picture, there is going to be an electoral impact, no doubt. The DMK and the Congress are also watching closely, though they might say this is an internal matter, though you might say this is an internal matter. The fact remains that she is going to play a role in the elections, and that is something that is going to affect your alliance.
No, see, she has got every right to play a role in politics, in this election because already they have a party. That is what I have been mentioning. Today, it is seen as if, Shashikala is trying to take over AIDMK. They are trying to break AIDMK. So many things are being discussed in so many ways. But we should remember that it is a party which is run by Mr. TTV Dinakaran and Shashikala. She has come. The supporters and the cadres of their party throughout Tamil Nadu has come. So you cannot decide anything, by seeing what is happening today. As rightly pointed out by Mr. Sudhi, Tamil Nadu is seeing crowds every day, everywhere, and we know how to engineer this crowd. So this is happening because you've got a lot of channels, people are watching, 80 to 90% of families in Tamil Nadu are politically aware. They are aware of the politics in Tamil Nadu. So we need to understand that even common public watch very closely politics in Tamil Nadu. But as far as Mr. Sumant Raman had said, no, I don't think anybody is going to. Anybody is telling Mr. Edappadi that you are carrying baggage of BJP. That's a very harsh word what he has used, but he regularly uses that word. That's what I said before. 2 years said BJP is behind AIDMK splitting. Now he says that BJP is behind uniting AIDMK. Now he says that suddenly Edappadi is being told that carrying luggage. See, all these things. People like, BJP baiters like Sumant C. Raman says all these things. We are not worried about it. We have grown in the last 2.5 years, 3 years. We have grown. We have taken our achievements, and definitely NDA is very, very strong. We have our alliance only with the AIDMK and not with any individual. We have to understand that first. So that is why we've been keeping on saying, because we are very sure they were together, both Shashikala, Edappadi, OPS, all were together. And tomorrow if they join also, we can't do anything. It is their party, they have to decide. We are in alliance only with the AIDMK and not with any individual.
Okay, Mr. Rajshekharan, I know you want to come in, but just let me very quickly give Sumant C. Raman an opportunity to respond because Mr. Tirupati was addressing him directly.
I'll tell you.
Look,
See, it
there
is
is-
just a.
Look, one second,
No,
one
it is-
second, sir. That is for me.
So just one minute, Mr.
one minute.
Rajshekaran, just one
No,
moment.
sure.
I will come to you. I will come to you, Mr. Rajshekaran. Just very quickly, if I can allow Sumant C. Raman to respond.
Aarti.
Yeah.
Aarti, the BJP has definitely increased its vote share in Tamil Nadu. My guess is from their original 3.5%, they may even have come to 6% or so. Having said that, the point is the negative connotations associated. And of course, one of the major failures has been the failure of the state unit of the BJP to set the narrative in Tamil Nadu. Because every day, every media house in Tamil Nadu is broadcasting stories as to how the BJP is anti-Tamil language, anti-Tamil culture every day. And the state unit has done very little to combat this barrage of information that is put out by the media. I mean, I would even call it misinformation. So because of that, there is a strong feeling in the people's mind that the BJP is a Hindi party, is an upper caste party, and therefore is not relevant to the state of Tamil Nadu, which they are trying to change, but they haven't handled the media properly at all. And one fallout of this is that there is this feeling that the AIADMK on its own is a secular party. Nobody really has too many problems with it except for the corruption angle. I don't think there's anything else that you can throw against the AIADMK.
No,
But
it started
Well,
really
Mr.
as
Raman, to
a-
be fair,
Mr.
corruption, I
Stalin
think,
is
is a
taking
big
care of
deal.
his hand.
Well, I think corruption is a pretty serious charge. I don't think it's something that you can say it's only corruption and nothing more. Let's also remember that Sasikala herself has been convicted of corruption. Mr. Rajshekaran, you wanted to come in? Please go ahead.
corrupt.
See, Aarti, Narayanan and Sumant Raman are brothers. So they fighting with each other is nothing new. They will fight and they are friends and brothers. So that is not going to make any impact. But the fact
about
remains,
you?
yes, as Sumant said, there is a perception about BJP.
What about you and me, Rajshekaran?
No, that is out of panel. But on panel, you both are brothers. So what you speak, he will answer, and what he speaks, you will answer. It is all kya setting like that. Okay, anyway, keeping that aside, but Sumant is very right, because he said they have not combated the media bashing and other things. And BJP is fairly doing some good job recently, not in the past, but definitely recently they are doing some good thing, but that is not enough to fight the elections. That is their baggage. I agree. Generally, I always oppose Sumant, but today I agree with him on that point. And with Narayan Tirupati saying that they have done a good job, yes, of course, recently they have done a good job. But that perception, which Sumant said, it is totally right about BJP. Everybody in Tamil Nadu are very, very strongly, they think that BJP is meant for Brahmin Janata Party. I'm not being harsh. I'm only reflecting what, repeating what Sumant had said. He said, so everybody thinks BJP is a party only for Brahmins, not for others.
No,
That is the
nobody
reason
thinks like that except
ADMK.
Rajshekaran.
No.
Only
I tell you,
Rajshekaran
see,
thinks
I'm
like
not.
that. Nobody thinks so.
No. What Sumant said. Sumant said.
never been a
Sumant was.
Brahmin
So no. So Sumant
I
said it
said-
is upper caste.
Okay.
No, upper caste.
He's strongly
Okay, one second. We're going to. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to interrupt. I'm going to have to interrupt because I'm going to have to interrupt because this is not. We're not actually discussing the BJP strategy in Tamil Nadu. No one can deny the fact that it is going to be an uphill battle for the BJP. But we are going to discuss, and we have been discussing, the Sasikala factor in the elections. I'm going to give the final word to Mr. Sudhir, who has been listening very patiently, and he's perhaps been excluded from the fraternal fighting that is happening on the other side.
No, just to say, obviously, as you said, the discussion is about Sasikala, it's not about the BJP. But just to say that whether any decision is taken on Sasikala or any kind of an association between the AIADMK and Sasikala will have to factor in what the BJP feels about it. Mr. Narayan Tirupati may well say that it's an internal matter of the AIADMK. But given the fact that the AIADMK and the BJP are part of the NDA alliance and elections are just about 2 to 3 months away in Tamil Nadu, any decision that will be taken on Sasikala, if there is any kind of change between tonight and the next few days in the run-up to the elections, that will definitely have to involve what the BJP feels about whether any kind of association with Sasikala will benefit the NDA, not just the AIADMK.
Well, certainly the BJP is, a backroom player. The BJP is this unseen force in Tamil Nadu. But Mr. Sudhir, do you say that round one has gone to Sasikala today? The fact that she outsmarted them when it came to the flag and circumvented entirely the impediment that was there in terms of using the AIDMK flag?
No, I'll answer that. Can I answer that? After that, Sudhir can answer.
So,
Okay.
but yes, the optics have been in favor. If you see all the different channels, they have been focusing on Shashikala's return from Bengaluru to Chennai, and she will probably return only by midnight, reach Chennai only by midnight. So definitely she has managed to grab eyeball space. But what she does between now and the next few days will determine the future course of action, because people haven't really quite forgotten what happened in 2017 when she had to be sent to Bengaluru Central Prison. So that's not too much in the distant history, and the fact that she will not be able to contest polls, that also is a factor which the people of Tamil Nadu will not forget. So definitely interesting times as far as Tamil Nadu politics is concerned. The DMK is continuing with its own campaign in the rural hinterland of Tamil Nadu. But as far as the AIDMK is concerned, it will have to get its act together on what kind of political strategy it wants to adopt when it comes to taking on Shashikala and by extension TTV Dinakaran and the AMMK.
Well, that's absolutely true, because let's not forget that the DMK is just getting along with it. They are going about their electoral business, preparing for the polls that are going to be a couple of months from now, while the AIDMK is caught in this internecine battle and this battle for survival. Mr. Rajshekharan, only 30 seconds, please. I'm completely out of time. I know you had to come in, but just 30 seconds, please.
Yeah, I just want to quote a WhatsApp forward that all these Shashikala's mind voice, that you are the student of a school where I was the headmaster. So you don't worry. It's just all you guys are students, but that school headmaster was me. So don't worry, I'll handle it. That was the WhatsApp circulation.
Okay, that's I think a good place to wrap up. Sasikala is going to be no doubt being watched very closely over the next few days. What is her political move? She has plenty of options. Is she going to jump into the fray before the elections, after the elections? We don't know, but one thing is for sure, she's not going anywhere. She is here to stay, and she is definitely going to play a political role in Tamil Nadu's future as well as the AIADMK. We're going to slip into a short break on that note, but plenty more on the other side, so stay tuned.